Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the October 17th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Monica Carper. I'll tell you why gangs in Chapel Hill could be a problem the next time you go out.
I'm Lib Curley. A lot of students are taking this pill without a prescription. Coming up, I'll tell you what it is and why it's causing so much controversy.
In sports, how far has the football team come and how far do the Heels have to go?
Weathercaster Mallory Nichols will have your fall break forecast.
All that and men who make a living by mending our souls. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Sarah Huffman.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. Authorities are continuing to investigate the gang connections to the Visions nightclub shooting. Our Monica Carper's in front of where the club used to be. And Monica, it's a problem coming from outside our town, isn't it?
Many merchants in the area believe that gangs in Chapel Hill come from Durham. Gang officer Mitch McKinney acknowledges that Durham's problem is spilling over into Chapel Hill.
Bartender Josh Rollins saw many fights working as a bartender for Visions nightclub.
Probably seen someone just take a Corona bottle and hit someone over the head with it. And there's like 5 other guys just beating one guy down.
Rollins believes the violence at Visions was gang related, but where do gang members come from?
I don't think there's any gangs really in Chapel Hill.
But walking along Rosemary Street, you can find graffiti by the Crips, Bloods, and the LBU spray painted around the back of Chapel Hill restaurants.
CRAB.
Officer McKinney believes those out-of-town gang members might be coming to Chapel Hill to recruit.
We're actually seeing individuals that are claiming gang membership that we're arresting.
McKinney says younger kids are joining gangs. Hip-hop stars glamorize violence
but only on the left side. Yeah, that's the Crip side.
and promote a lifestyle that attracts some young people. But those aren't the only reasons kids are joining gangs.
The gang can take the place of your family. They can give you that sense of belonging. They can be a form of protection. They're willing to listen to your problems. And it all seems so great.
McKinney says law enforcement is only one part of the solution. It takes the entire community.
Help them refocus the way they make goals and decisions and show them that there is another path.
Although gang violence in Chapel Hill hasn't escalated to what it is in larger cities, McKinney says area leaders have to do something now.
No community wants to be labeled as a gang community, but McKinney says it's important to recognize the beginning of a problem so the town can work to solve it. He says Chapel Hill should work on providing the police with more resources so they can create a special unit for gang intelligence.
Monica, what are police doing right now to crack down on the gang violence?
The police are investigating social networking sites such as MySpace and Facebook. These sites are used by gangs for recruitment.
Monica Carper on Rosemary Street, thank you.
The Orange County District Attorney has dropped rape charges against 5 Chapel Hill teenagers. Prosecutor Jim Woodall dismissed the first-degree rape cases because he says there's not enough evidence to go to trial. A 16-year-old girl accused the men of gang raping her at Southern Village last September. Woodall says he'll re-present the case to the grand jury if the police department finds more evidence. Midterms are in full swing and some students are turning to prescription study aids to stay alert while studying. Reporter Lib Curley investigates this illegal trend.
Tess Stikus tested negative for attention deficit disorder, but her doctor still gave her Adderall.
I was still prescribed Adderall. I'm not really sure why.
Adderall abuse on college campuses has increased in recent years because people take it to stay awake while studying. Students used to stay awake just with caffeine, but now they're using Adderall, even without a prescription.
None of my roommates do it, but definitely I feel like during finals time, the majority of the library is on Adderall.
Although some people think it can help them get better grades, Adderall is still classified with cocaine and morphine as a Schedule II controlled substance. Clinical addictions counselor Dee Dee Larilliard says some people pretend to have symptoms for ADD to get Adderall.
It's a fairly easy diagnosis to fake, so to speak.
Senior Allie Tanner says people need to take the initiative to study without help from drugs.
In life, you're going to have to learn to do things you don't want to do, and these people are just being lazy and taking it when they really can concentrate, because they can sit in front of the TV for 3 hours just because that's what they want to do. So they just need to learn to do things they don't want to do.
Even with a prescription, the drug can be harmful to your health.
I actually think that even taking what I do of my prescription, I've had serious problems sleeping ever since. I'm actually prescribed to Ambien now due to the effects that Adderall has had on my sleeping.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Lib Curley, Carolina Week.
Nationwide, more than 1 million people are on Adderall, not counting those who take it without a prescription. Were you a picky eater as a child? According to one study, your kids might be too. Researchers say that kids' picky eating habits are hereditary. The way parents eat is a likely predictor of whether their children will have an appetite for fruits or will only eat sweets. Different ways of cooking can affect whether your child likes certain foods, and you can teach kids healthy eating habits.
Now there's one more reason to enjoy red wine. It might be the key to treating a common disease. Researchers have isolated a chemical found in red grapes and wine that might help treat type 2 diabetes. Resveratrol is located in the skin of red grapes and helps cells become more sensitive to insulin. With type 2 diabetes, human cells resist insulin. The chemical activates an enzyme that could also affect the brain by suppressing the appetite. Researchers hope this chemical could lead to an effective diet pill. UNC has a wide range of classes for students to take.
But coming up, find out why it's hard for some students to get into the game.
Let's talk about dying. Everybody's got to do it, but nobody wants to talk about it. So talking about organ donation is even harder, especially with your family. Because to talk about that, you got to admit you're going to die, and that's hard. Maybe people think if they don't talk about it, it won't happen. You know what? That's exactly what happens with organ donation. If you don't talk to your family about it, it won't happen. Yeah, it's kind of creepy, maybe weird, but you get to give the biggest gift in the whole world, life. So this is what I think. Organ donation is not about dying. It's about living. Talk to your family about living. Talk to your family about donating life.
UNC prides itself on the strength of its athletic department, but some say the way it has handled the physical education requirement is a bit lackluster. Reporter Kelsey Colt has the story.
The Department of Exercise and Sports Science offers students a wide variety of activities to fulfill their PE requirement, but the program is frequently criticized by both students and university officials.
I don't think it really has much staying power. It's just something the university feels like we need to have some exposure to.
Last spring, UNC decided to cut the PE requirement in half.
The college came back to us and said, we're taking away the 2 requirements and giving you a 1 requirement. And they kind of just did it without consulting us.
Many UNC students, especially seniors, were relieved to be one step closer to graduation.
I was looking at my Student Central account one day and saw that I only had 1 PE left, and I haven't taken one, so I was pretty excited.
Battellini hopes the new Lifetime Fitness program will eliminate the last-minute scramble to complete a PE class and influence freshmen to take another elective in the future.
And a lot of people just sign up just to get the credit out of the way, but our every intent is to make it worthwhile.
By making PE classes a first-year requirement, officials hope UNC students will practice healthy habits early and avoid the notorious freshman 15. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kelsey Colt, Carolina Week.
PE electives such as social dance and self-defense are very popular, so juniors and seniors should register for those classes early.
Students hoping to go to a UNC system school might have to hit the books a little harder in the future. The Board of Governors is considering increasing GPA and SAT requirements starting with fall 2009 admissions. Students would need at least a 2.0 GPA and a 700 SAT score in order to get into any of the 4-year UNC schools. By 2013, it could be a 2.5 GPA and an 800 minimum SAT score. The board hopes to bring drop-down to bring down dropout rates, but UNC student Evan Hall doesn't think that's the solution.
Raising the requirements to get in college will, on paper, look pretty good, but primarily one of the major reasons college kids drop out of college is because they, leave their sheltered family lives and get caught up in partying.
Members of the UNC Board of Governors say raising the standards will encourage more students to attend a community college before heading off to a four-year university.
For all you Adobe users out there, pay close attention to your computer. Adobe says some of its programs are vulnerable to malicious software attacks. UNC students should be alert because Adobe programs are on the laptops they receive as freshmen. The company found the glitch affects computers running Windows XP and Internet Explorer 7. Adobe already released counter software for certain programs, but has yet to find a cure for the popular Adobe Acrobat and Reader. To download the repairs for your computer, go to the link on our website, carolinaweek.org. Brushing your teeth, washing your hands, that running faucet might cost you more than you think. North Carolina's continuing drought has led to increased fines for high residential water use. The typical household uses about 6,000 gallons of water a month. And beginning November 1st, if your house uses more than 11,000 gallons, the city might fine you anywhere from $11 to $26. Officials say some of the best ways to conserve water are washing only full loads of laundry and filling up your dishwasher before running it. If you're looking for new ways to conserve water, you can start in the bathroom. You've seen sinks like these for years, but you might not have seen these new water-saving toilets. The toilet operates with a dual-function flush that protects and preserves the environment. For liquid waste, you pull up on the handle for a mini flush that uses only a third as much water. For solid waste, you push down. The coated handles limit exposure to germs so you can protect yourself and the environment at the same time. Fall break begins today, and students here on campus are clamoring for an escape from the books.
As a student athlete, we don't get a fall break. We are playing FSU in Miami this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
I'm from Nova Scotia. I'm Canadian, so it's not very often I get to go home, maybe twice a year. And because we have a bit of an extra long break this year, I'm going to maybe take a day off on the other end and just go home.
Brother's actually getting married this weekend, so I'm setting up, the wine and chocolate-covered strawberries and stuff like that. This will be my first time going to a bachelor's party, so that should definitely be exciting.
If you're not going to a bachelor party, there's still a cheap option for a getaway. AirTran U is a program designed specifically for those of you wanting the inexpensive last-minute escape. AirTran sells standby seats from only $69 to $89 for students ages 18 to 22. Simply go to the ticket counter 2 hours before the flight with your carry-on luggage and buy your standby ticket. As long as the plane has an open seat, you can board. Visit our website, carolinaweek.org, to find out more.
Moving on to other news, the state's mental health services are undergoing reform. Reporter Susan Tart tells us how it's affecting the Tar Heel State.
The state's first mental hospital is about to be no more. 151 years old, Dix Hill is showing its age. North Carolina Division of Mental Health employee Flo Stein says the facility is outdated.
There are things that we can't allow patients to do in our hospitals that in a newer hospital would be routine.
Such as having no more than 1 or 2 people per room, ground floor access to the outdoors, and space for families to come visit, all crucial for mental health patients. So the state is building a community hospital in Butner, part of a trend not everyone believes is the answer.
They're starting to downsize the state hospitals, but there's no community services that were supposed to be in place for that.
The new hospital, which is scheduled to open this winter, will be state-of-the-art. But some say it will still come up short.
With the closing of Dorothea Dix Hospital and John Umstead Hospital, there's a loss of over 100 beds.
Part of the worry is that with community services comes privatized services, and this means a lack of health care for many uninsured mental health patients. Gilmore says this is creating a brain drain of future psychiatrists.
People that are interested in community mental health are leaving the state because they don't have any confidence that the state mental health system will be a stable system.
Stein says not to worry, this is just a part of reform.
Our legislature has been very committed to the dollars staying in the system. We don't quite have the balance right. We will, though. I think we're doing the right thing and we're going in the right direction.
a direction she hopes will put North Carolina ahead. In Butner, I'm Susan Tart, Carolina Week.
While some people believe the state has decreased its mental health spending, Stein says the opposite is true. Money is being redirected to community services. And now we're joined by weathercaster Mallory Nichols.
And so, Mallory, is it true there's any rain in the forecast?
You know, finally, I am able to tell you that there is a chance of some showers in the forecast for the future. Today was a perfect day to do some outdoor napping in the sun. Some Carolina students can't wait for fall break to relieve the built-up stress. As you can see, this guy is definitely doing that. The forecast when we return.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. No stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little piggies ready to play. The big pig is Pedro. Pedro Piggy. He's the big piggy.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Mallory Nichols. Well, I can finally tell you that there is some rain in our forecast, which is a great news, but then our temperatures, again, are a little bit wavy. That's not too much of a fluctuation in our temperatures, but we do see a little bit of up and down going on that. And then for the weekend, I know a lot of you guys are probably heading out of town, and a lot of North Carolina looks pretty good for the weekend forecast. If we head to the satellite and radar, you'll see there's a lot going on, which I'm not used to doing this. There's a lot of rain out into the west. You see there's a big low pressure system right here. That's going to start to push towards us, which will bring us that possibility of rain on Thursday evening and Friday morning. And then we do also want to take a look at this low pressure system way out west. That is also going to start to push east as well, which might bring us a little bit of some precipitation for next week. So there's a lot of rain in our forecast, which is really good. If we take a closer look, you'll see North Carolina is pretty clear out to the east towards the coast a little bit. There are some pop-up showers starting out off the coast that isn't going to affect anybody on North Carolina's coast right there, but we do have a little bit of clouds starting to push into our area that we'll be seeing start to build up a little bit more as we head into the later part of this week. If we go to the surface map, you'll see that big low pressure system sitting out to the west that's going to start to push, and then we do have a little bit of another cold front out there that also is going to start to push east. These are going to start to push east. And then right now we are sitting on a little bit of high, which is what brought our warmer temperatures today, but that's going to push out as these lows start to push in. If we take a look at Thursday's surface map, you'll see that low is starting to push. All that rain is starting to build up a little bit with that, and then on Friday, you'll see that rain is on top of us, which is when we are going to be getting the most severe weather possible for Friday. So you want to keep a jacket with you for that day as well. If we take a look at our beach forecast, you'll see we have for Saturday, sunny skies, a little bit of clouds, and then Sunday we have even more sunny skies. The temperature is going to stay pretty consistent in the 70s, and then the low down into the 49s. Or down into the 40s right there. So a little bit low in the evening, but good temperatures during the day. And then at the beach, you'll see that we have, for Saturday, pretty much the same thing. All of North Carolina is looking pretty good. Saturday, we have the clouds a little bit. For the beach, those clouds are going to start to move out a little bit on that morning, but we'll still have some. And then Sunday, we do have sunny skies, and then mid-80s for the temperatures there, and then 60s for the low for that. If we go to the 4-day forecast, you'll see how those temperatures are fluctuating. We do have that chance of rain for Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday it's sunny. Those temperatures go up and down for the highs, and then we're pretty much in the 50s for the lows. So, our temperatures look pretty good, and we do have that chance of precipitation. So things are looking pretty great for the rest of the week.
It sounds like it's going to be beautiful wherever anybody chooses to go during fall break.
Yeah, it splits it up a little bit. First you get the rain, and then you get a nice weekend. So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds great, Mallory. Thanks. Earlier this semester, we told you about Carrie Hagner, a Chapel Hill resident competing at the Special Olympics in Shanghai, China. Hagner was one of 11 North Carolina athletes selected to compete. While in China, she won both a gold medal and a silver medal in cycling. Those who know Hagner say they aren't surprised that her hard work paid off and that she's now an Olympic champion. The giving spirit of one UNC student lives on even though he's no longer with us. Students gathered in Carroll Hall Tuesday night to watch an ESPN special about Jason Ray, the student who died tragically when a car hit him in March. Ray was known for portraying the mascot Ramses. The ESPN special focused on the lives he saved through organ donation. Former UNC student and Ray's childhood friend Jessica Holmes organized the viewing. She says she hopes more people will follow Ray's example.
I think people can see, especially college students can see how that changed lives, and that, you know, we are healthy people, and even if you aren't healthy, you can still give some of your organs. And we're so young, our organs are so young, it's great to do it now.
Jason's organs saved or enriched the lives of 80 people. To learn how to become an organ donor, you can visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
And we're joined now by sportscaster Sarah Moore.
Sarah, it is a big weekend for one Tar Heel sports team.
It is. It is field hockey's last home game of the season. Coming up in sports, with only 2 games left, the field hockey team is looking for another shutout this weekend on the way to a possible national title.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Sarah Moore. And yes, fall break did start 23 minutes ago. We are just past the halfway point in the semester, and the football team is just past the halfway point of the season. Despite some heartbreaking losses, the young team still has a chance to make it to a bowl game. But as Matthew Meadows tells us, the Heels will have to win out.
The more the season develops, the more you realize how much better UNC is than this record. 4 of the Heels' 5 losses were to teams now ranked in the BCS top 20, and 4 of their 5 losses were by a touchdown or less. UNC's only ugly loss was to the USF Bulls, who currently rank 2nd in the BCS. The Bulls' defense proved to be too much for the young Heels to handle. The Bulls dominated the Heels 37-10. After that wake-up call in Tampa, the Heels responded with a major upset against Miami. It was here the Heels would become a two-dimensional offense and establish a running game. Carolina survived Miami's second-half rally to defeat the Canes 33-27, giving Butch Davis his first Division I win coming against his previous employer.
And it's really showing our play. I mean, the offense is coming along. The efficiency they're producing is great. Defense, we've been, playing pretty good, but we can always play better.
In the most anticipated game of the season, the Battle of the Carolinas took place in Chapel Hill. In spite of a poor start against South Carolina, UNC bounced back in the second half to shut out the Gamecocks for 2 periods. Though the rally fell short, the Tar Heels gave themselves numerous chances to win the game until time ran out. Observers say UNC has the most deceiving 2-5 record in the country. Though winning out will be difficult, the team has a chance to become bowl eligible.
Season's not been as great as we've wanted it to be so far. We got to take, you got to take the positive things, and we're going to keep going into these next weeks, and we're going to win these last 5 games.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Matthew Meadows, Carolina Week.
The first in a 5-game stretch of conference matchups to end the season will be Wake Forest and Winston-Salem on the 27th. Carolina Week Sports got the inside scoop about what a few UNC football players plan to do during fall break.
No, we'll be here all week, and then I think we'll have a practice Thursday morning, and then we're released, and we got to be back Sunday So I mean, I'll probably just stay here and be a bum anyways, and just kind of hang out.
Watching extra film, taking the time to get prepared for Wake Forest because we have a lot of time to prepare, and I'm gonna try not to get mentally, weak,
The men's soccer team tied Elon last night in the Heels' 7th overtime match of the season. Elon led for the majority of the game. In the 79th minute, Gary Lewis scored for the Heels, tying the game 1-1. This is Carolina's 5th tie of the season. The field hockey team has its eyes on an ACC championship as the Heels continue conference play this weekend. The Heels play Maryland at 1 p.m. this Saturday in Chapel Hill. Last year, the Terps came out on top, winning 1-0 in College Park. The Heels are a perfect 16-0 this season and coming off a 3-0 win versus Virginia. Senior Rachel Dawson leads the team with 14 goals. This is the last chance to see the #1 ranked Tar Heels in Chapel Hill during the regular season. UNC is hosting the ITA Southeast Championship this weekend. Play began earlier today with pre-qualifying rounds. The tournament continues throughout the weekend with championship matches on Monday. If you're sticking around for fall break and need something fun to do, you can stop by the Cone-Kinfield Tennis Center for all the action. So there's going to be plenty to do sports-wise for everyone that's sticking around for fall break this weekend.
Yeah, it's a break for students, but certainly not a break for student athletes.
No, not at all.
Thank you, Sarah. Chapel Hill is a historic town with a rich history.
And some people continue living that history today.
I'm Katie Miller. Coming up, I'll tell you about the oldest business in Chapel Hill.
My name's Brandon. I'm 9 years old, being alcoholic.
Hi, Brandon.
I'll start drinking with the older kids. And whatever they do, I'll do.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I know it'll start with alcohol. I'm just not sure how it's gonna end.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Former President Calvin Coolidge said, "Make it do, wear it out, use it up, go without." The men who work in the oldest business in Chapel Hill live by those words. Reporter Katie Miller has their story.
Most Chapel Hill residents think the Carolina Coffee Shop is the oldest business in town. But that honor belongs to Laycock Shoe Shop. The shoe shop opened in 1916. The third-generation store owners, Robert and Kimmy Dew, believe we should maintain our shoes and not just buy new ones every few months.
We should be better stewards of our resources. And so in that, this fits into my philosophy completely.
So for some, things never change. Shoe craftsman David Barnett works to repair heels, soles, and holes in our shoes.
Look at the difference.
Barnett studied shoe repair in South Carolina before moving to Chapel Hill.
It was a good thing to get into after we got out of high school because we didn't know what we wanted to do. I wanted to really become a professional ball player. That was my thing. But I became a professional shoe repairer.
A lot of Chapel Hill residents bring their shoes here, including some big-name soles. As a matter of fact, this is Coach Butch Davis's shoe. So instead of throwing out an old pair, give this old-fashioned trade a chance. It might save you a few bucks. In Chapel Hill, I'm Katie Miller, Carolina Week.
That's such a neat story. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching. Have a great fall break and a good night.